the 8th of March, Rabbi Furst, Mishna Berura.
Yud Dalit, Sif Yud Dalit. Good morning. This is Rabbi Shlomo Furst here. You see with Samanapshi hearing tonight through Zoom from Texas Street. Good morning. Today we're learning Hilchos Megilla in the Mishnah Berura Siman Taf Reish Shadi Sif Yud Dalit. Sif Yud Dalit. Is it three? Like three?
Sure. Hakarias Megilla Tzarik Sheyichaven Lahotzi Shomea. The person who is reading the Megillah has to have in mind that he is fulfilling the obligation for other people. V'tzorach HaShomea Lotzes. And the listener has to have in mind that the Koreh is being Yotzei him. V'im HaKoreh Shliach Sibur. And if the Koreh is the Shliach Sibur, the
right, meaning they used to have a Shatz Kavu. I mean, there was one person who would basically lead all the prayer services.
Okay. Mistama Daito, I'll call Hashomim Afilu Haim Acharei HaBeis Knesses. Then he has the intention to do the obligation for everybody who is listening, including those who are, it says here behind, but even outside the Beis Knesses, maybe listening from a window.
Right.
The Ein Medakikin Be Taos Ta'uyoseha. We're not careful about his mistakes.
Yeah, we're not.
Okay.
We'll have to see what that means exactly.
Okay. V'yesh omrim the dafka betos shehaloshan va'inyan echad. This is specifically, and there are those who say this is specifically those mistakes where the lashon doesn't change. I guess doesn't change the meaning.
Right. Betoy shehaloshan va'inyan echad, meaning the mistake in the pronunciation and its understanding, its meaning are really the same.
Okay. Behahu uvda detrei talmidei dehavu yasve kama derav. It's like there's like two students who are sitting before the Rav, Had Korei Yehudim, V'Had Korei Yehudiim. One says Yehudim, one says Yehudim. Below achad mimenu, and
right, and they didn't have to go back. Meaning they said it two different ways, and neither one had to go back and repeat it.
Right. Aval tos acher lo.
Go. With another type of a mistake that will
you
not
wouldn't
be,
ignore. You wouldn't
right.
ignore.
Wouldn't pass, and you'd have to correct it. Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. Gotcha.
Okay. Let's see the Mishnah Berura that begins in Sifkat in Mem Chet.
Hold on. I'm on the wrong page. Good. Okay. Tzorach sheichavin v'chulu v'tzorach v'chulu. Ikuva hu afilu b'diavad, and it is mi'akev even b'diavad. Zeh hakivan hu kodem she'matkil l'korei yichaven al kol hakriya, and that is when he starts. He should have the intention for all of the kriya. V'zeh lotzeis v'zeh lahotzi. One is to fulfill, and one is to have his obligation fulfilled.
Good.
But you don't need to have this intention, active while the reading is taking place. And the listener should attune his ears to hear every word that the Baal Koreh says. And if he misses, if Baal Koreh misses even one word, even the listener misses one word, from the in his hearing, lo yatse v'tzarach lahazi. He's not fulfilled his obligation, and he has to repeat. Now,
Yeah.
for the Balkore, that's kind of easy because somebody will say you missed a word, and he'll go back and repeat it and go on without a problem. But if the Shomea misses a word, he can't go out and yell to the Balkore, "Hey, go repeat that word. I missed it." When it says he has to repeat, does he have to listen to a whole Megillah reading again?
Theoretically, that would be true. If he really missed the word, yeah, he would have to. If he's not fulfilled his obligation, he's gonna have to go get another reading. Yep. That's why it's very important to try and don't be embarrassed and try and get close to the Balkari as possible. Don't get, if it's a big Knesset and there's a lot of noise, you're at risk. It may be missing out a word or something. So don't be embarrassed and go stand right up as close as you can to when reading the Megillah.
If you hear it but you misreading it, you're still Yotze. Is that correct?
Yeah, you don't. It's wise and recommended that you follow along. But if you don't, you're as long as you're hearing it, it's okay.
I follow along in a kosher Megillah, so if I miss a word, I'm still reading it in the kosher Megillah.
And that's the recommendation of the Mishna Berura. The Mishna Berura recommends that the person should have a kosher Megillah, so in case the word is missed, he'll be able to read along on his own and make up for the lack of the hearing of the person reading the Megillah. Yep, that's right.
Good.
Kosher Megillah. Okay.
Okay. Mistama Daito. It just the plain knowledge of the Shlik Sibur. Le'in Hashomin Yishtana Hadin. And as far as the listeners go, it changes the din. Da omdim bebeis hakneses stama bekavanos mekavnin, because the people who are standing in the base of Knesset, their stam das is to be is the kavan is that the shliach tzibur shall fulfill the obligation. But the people who are passing by outside the base of Knesset, being shikaven beferish, they have to explicitly acknowledge that the Balkari will be filling their obligation because they're not in the shul itself while the reading is taking place.
Right.
Okay. We're not medocting about the mistakes in the Balkore. Ein hadin hazeh myri le'inyan ksiva. But that's not the din as far as the ksiva goes.
And if there was a mistake in the mistake that was written, mistake
right.
was written is serious. Yeah.
The Shamadin Kamo Besif Gimel. There the din is that we said in Sif Gimel. The Chacha Myri Le'inyan Kriya. And here we're talking about the union of reading. The Hainu Afiu Kara Oso Bekama Taoso. You can read even he makes Kama Taos. He makes many mistakes. Kevin shall call upon him Kare Kulub. He's read the whole thing.
Right.
Okay. Acher could go into Kare Miyoshev Yoshav or Minofel Nofal. Dahare Kilu Dilag Oso Teva Legamri. He's lost the letter completely. Lachzor Likroa Beseder. He has to go back and read it in order.
Very good. Okay. That brings us to the next sif. Step Zion.
Tzarek Shomer Haman Baruch Mordechai or Baruch Arura Zeresh Brucha Esther or Kol Ovdei Kochavim Bruchim Kol Yisrael. Tzarek Shomer V'gam Chabar L'Tov. This is Zochar L'Tov. This is what we sing in Shoshanas Yaakov at the end after the Megillah is read. So you have to mention cursed be Haman and blessed be Mordechai, cursed be Zeresh and blessed be Esther, and
Right.
cursed be all of the idol worshippers, and blessed be Israel, and also that the name of that Charbono should be remembered for good.
Very good. Right, very good.
Now, an interesting question is, I understand our Haman because he caused all the problem, but
Right.
why Aurora Zeresh?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Or is it just because she was egging him on the whole time?
That's a good question. Why specifically Aurora Zeresh?
The fact that she was beheaded gave Esther the opportunity, so she did something good.
That's Vashi. That was Vashi, not Zeresh. Oh, I
Oh,
skipped,
sorry.
by the way, I skipped Tetzvav. I read Tetzvav.
Yeah, I know, right. I also I mentioned to you read Tez Zion. I was going to skip it. We'll go back.
Oh, okay. We'll go
yeah.
back in a second then,
But let's just, now that you asked the question, let's see if I can.
because there is no Mishnah Berurah on this. We can go over.
Right. So 1 second. let
Yeah,
me-
but yeah, that was Vashti who was beheaded, not Zeresh. Zeresh is Haman's wife.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
Well, in a way, it's like a comparison, just like you have Mordechai and Esther. So it's like a
But-
literary thing to have,
right. But Mordechai and
No,
Esther were
he-
both involved in the salvation.
but
What?
but
What
his wife was also, pushing him on, and and
Yeah,
they-
I'm thinking that's what the answer is.
I
wasn't
mean, you would,
positive.
like a normal mother would tell her sons, don't get involved, your father's losing his head, just stay home. But no, she was getting her sons involved too, so, she was his partner.
Right. Okay, 1 second. Let's see, who didn't Zeresh give the eights to get to put the to build the eights, to build us the gallows?
Could be.
Let's take a look. Let's take a look. Where's our Megillah? Where's our Megillah? Mordechai. Let's see. Ba, 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 ba. Let's see. Let's see here. Eight. Okay. Oh, let's see here. If you have your Megillah, in which parak is this? Parak Hay, parak Hay, parak Hay. Yeah, parak Hay, pasuk Yudalad, yeah? You have your Megillah there. Take a look there with what it says there. You could pick back up to Yud Gimel. Anyone want to read the Megillah? It's the Gemara says there in Parak Hay, pasuk Yud Gimel and Dalet. So Haman comes, right? Haman's over here. He's home and he's complaining. He's got, he's got a real terrible life here. Haman says, "V'kol zein is shabali." All this doesn't mean anything to me. V'kol eisa she'ani roya es Mordechai. The whole time I see this Mordechai Yehudi, Yosef Shtar Melech, he's sitting in the Shtar Melech. Tomer lo zeresh ishtoi. V'kol oivav yas eitz. And Zeresh's wife said to him, and all his friends said, "Make an eight, make an eight." So she, right? She told him to make the eights. So you see, she had her eyes on Mordechai also.
Okay,
Yeah.
So yeah, for that she deserves a special curse. Yeah, give her a special curse. Someone tries to hurt the Jews, they deserve to be cursed, and they are cursed for sure. Anyone who hurts a Jew is a cursed person. He's gonna have a lot of problems, either in this world or the next, or both. Okay. Yeah,
back to
very
test,
good. Yeah, back to test vote.
back to test Vav. Sorry about that.
No, it's good. I'm I'm glad you asked the question. Now I can.
Okay. Tzarech Lomar Aseres B'nei Chaman, the Aseres Hakol B'Nishimas Achas. You have to say the 10 sons of Haman plus Aseres B'nei Chaman all in one breath. The idea Shekulam Neharagu V'Netlu B'Echad, because they're all hung and killed at once. Aga, the Ramah, the Dafka L'Chachila. That's a preferred way of doing this. Of the Eved, im hifsik beinehem yotza. But if you end up having to take a breath in the middle while you're saying it, you're still yotze. L'Chachila noagim lomer bin neshima achas mitchilas chamesh meos ish. And L'Chachila also, we should say one breath when it begins 500 men, chamesh meos ish. The S Parshandata V'chulu ad Asara. So you should actually start a little bit earlier with the single breath. Okay. Mishna Berura test Nun Beis. Hakol B'Nishim Achas, all the names within one breath. Uvechol Megilla, and the whole Megillah, Ben Pasuk. Yafsik Rak Kidei Nishima. Between each pasuk, you stop just long enough to take a breath. You should sort the kore be'igeres, because you have to read it like a letter. And Kishiyomer by Laila hu nadada yagbia hakol. I guess you should. What is yagbia hakol?
Raise your voice. I mean, you should say it a little bit out loud.
Okay.
Louder than regular.
Okay. Kosav Chayadim, the Chayadim writes, Masha Noagim Bemitas Mikomos Shekol HaKahal Omrim Asar B'nei Chaman Eno Minhag. And that where everybody says that the 10 sons of Haman, that's not a minhag. La Kore Yomrim Levad, the Baal Kore says they're all by himself, and Hashar Yishmael Kamo Kol Megillah, and everybody else listens just like the rest of the Megillah.
Right. So you
That doesn't seem.
What? Go ahead.
But in practice, it seems that everybody does say Asar B'nei Haman.
Yeah, well, I guess maybe they try. I don't know if they actually do it, but they try.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
you see from the Chayadim, it's not a directive for the listeners. It's only a directive for the Baal Koreh.
Okay. Hefsek Afilush Shah Kadei Ligmar Kulo. Even if he waits long enough to finish the whole thing. Ish the Ace the Hulu. But Maril Kasar B'Shem Ha Rokeach. The Maril writes the name of the Rokeach. Rishum Da Aseres B'nei Chaman Hayus Sari Chamishim Al Chamesh Meos Ish. They were captains of 50 on the 500 men that were killed. Umishishlo Nishima Katsara, and somebody can only take a small breath. Yishar Sheim Yachil Minha Chamesh Meos Ish Lo Yichal Lomer Kol Aser B'nei Chaman Nishim Achas. So if you can't take a deep breath, you should hold off on the breath until the actual 10 names start, as opposed to from 500 men.
Right.
Parshandasha, it is better to begin with Vest Parshandasha, V'chuli, Kizehu Dina de Gemara. That's the din of the Gemara. V'chamesh me'os ish hu minhag ba'alma. That's just the minhag, stam minhag.
Very good. Okay, so that brings us to the end of our time and the end of this Sif. We'll continue tomorrow with Sif Good Zion. Very good. Thank you, Larry,
All right.
for the reading. And
Have a
thank you
good
to
day.
everyone else. Good Aaron, have a good day. Mayor, have a good day.
Okay, be
Good
well,
day.
Everybody be well.